this one.
Oh, you got the glasses on this time? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes? I know they're playing this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Well, I wanted to find out if you had heard a lot of the sports shows are now comparing Joe Burrow, because obviously he won that big game and they're in that championship game.
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes, they're playing each other.
Yeah, they're playing this weekend. It's a divisional championship.
So it's going to be a great game. And previously they played together. The last 3 times they played against one another, Patrick Mahomes has lost all 3 games.
Since he won. So Mahomes lost the last 3 times. Well, Mahomes and the Chiefs lost the last 3 times they played Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Right. So I think one of the main things that's just funny to me is this. I understand you making the comparison, but the bottom line is don't get it mixed up. Football is a team sport.
Yep.
You got an offense, you got a defense, okay? You're not.
But the quarterback gets all of the credit and all of the blame.
Yeah, they get all the credit and all the blame. Now, I was talking to my son about it, my younger son, Kobe, and we had a discussion about it. And of course, you can break out the stats. You can look at all that. One thing we do have to recognize, put the brakes on that with Joe Burrow being better. He's a great player. I think he's great. He's a young player. He's only been playing about 3 years, and he's done a lot. But Patrick Mahomes, his first 5 years, he's had the best statistics of any quarterback ever.
2 Super Bowl
so how are you going to all of a sudden take a guy that did that in 5 years and all of a sudden say this other guy is better?
Because we get caught up. We get so caught up in the moment. And listen, there's 2 things can be the same at one time, right? You could say Joe Burrow is having a better season than Patrick Mahomes, which honestly Patrick Mahomes was liking it.
Patrick Mahomes is up for
having
the
an
MVP.
Exactly.
So we can't say that.
But what I'm saying is, in a season, you might have a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is considered the GOAT, right?
Right.
He was not a top 5 quarterback this season.
Right.
Some people might even say he wasn't a top 10 quarterback.
Not only
but at the same time, so like I said, you can say 2 things can be true at the same time. Tom Brady, what he has done in his career, I would never go and disrespect him and say that a guy like a Joe Burrow is better. He might be playing better right now.
And he's better now because Tom Brady is 56 years old.
But at the same time, like I said, I can say Joe Burrow, someone like Joe Burrow, I'm just using him as an example, or someone like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, could be playing better now than Tom Brady. But you have to you have to have some longevity in this sport. And you have to be able to do it consistently for me to really be able to give you the nod over, over a guy like Tom Brady. Give you that respect over a guy like a Tom Brady. So,
right, because a lot of people, it's all about who's number one when there's a lot of great players out there, a lot of great quarterbacks. So you can't really just put your finger on one person, because the bottom line is it's ultimately going to be that team or that defense that's going to get you over the top to win these games. And that's the bottom line. Because when you look back at Joe Burrow, if you just think back just a week ago, the Baltimore Ravens almost beat and should have won that game with a backup quarterback.
I know.
Now, what would have happened and what would they be saying about him, Burrows, if he would have lost that game?
I'm sorry, Burrow. Jump in. Burrow. We did this before in the last one.
Okay, Burrow.
Happens again.
Burrow.
You know what I mean? There you go, Joe Burrow.
I'm thinking about my nephew.
We do have
Yeah, well, anyway.
But you're right. Because remember I said that to you after the game. I said, now just imagine, there's a couple of things that would have happened. If he was to go, if the Ravens were to go and win that game, one, you would have had people, I think that you would have had some people saying, oh, well, why put all this money into Lamar Jackson? Look, Tyler Huntley got you a playoff victory. Just put some more pieces around him. Please. You had some people saying some crazy stuff like that, which we know that's insane. But same thing. If the Ravens would have won that game, you're absolutely right. They would have been.
There would have been 2 wins. They would have won 2 times against Cincinnati this year. So
what
would they have said about Joe Burrow?
There you go.
What would they have said? Would they have said that Huntley is better?
I think they still would have made an excuse for him, because you know that I feel like the 2 quarterbacks this season who, and not just the 2 quarterbacks this season that seemed like, man, if they did anything that wasn't perfect, it's going to be all over the place. Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. Right. Now, leading up into this season, I felt like, that's how it was for Lamar. After what Lamar did, even his MVP season, you had people that were trying, you had people who had their mind set on how they felt about Lamar Jackson before, when he came into the league, when he was drafted by the Ravens. And they're not willing to deviate from those feelings, even after the brother has shown you. Look at what he's done in just his, if you want to call it a short resume, he's been in the league with 5 years. Look at what he's done in just these 5 years. And some people still don't believe this brother can.
And even when he was playing before he got injured, he was putting up MVP numbers in the beginning of the season.
Just like last season.
Until he got injured.
Last season, he was an MVP candidate, and we were 8-3 before he got hurt last year.
And we don't want to hear this stuff about injuries in the NFL because it happens.
100%
Quarterbacks are going to get hurt sometimes. I mean, I think that's the one thing that Tom Brady has on him is that he has not had to deal with major injuries, which I'm concerned about him now. So I hope he retires and goes out like he should have a couple of years ago. Yeah, because I hate to see the man get a serious injury and has to walk with a limp.
We know Tom's going to be back, though. I think that Tom is too much of a competitor, and I think he's got that ego, right? We all do. But I'm saying I think that he's too much of a competitor to end his career this way. I think he's going to leave Tampa Bay, go somewhere else to put himself in position to at least get back to the playoffs, and then walk away.
The problem with that is that Tom Brady wants a team that has an offensive line that can make a box around him and let him stand in the box, and that he will be able to just throw. This guy has to move now. He has to run.
And it's hard to do when you're 45,
and you just can't do it. I mean, we saw it those last couple games that he played, especially that last one. I mean, he really looked like an aged player. And I just don't think that he wants to get out there in that situation next year and think that it's going to change because, I mean, he obviously moves slower than he used to. He's got, he's concerned about his ankles, his knees. They're just not the same. When you get that age.
I felt bad for him in that game, man. It was like against Dallas. It was almost like he was still trying to run that 2-minute drill. Well, they were like three possessions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst I've seen him in a long time, man. And, bottom line, it was at the end of the season.
It wasn't just on him either, though. Some of those guys were dropping passes that night. That team just didn't play. I mean, they didn't
the chemistry.
Defense either. It wasn't a good game. But I think what you're saying, basically what you're saying about Burrow is you're saying he might be right now. Like right now, he might be playing better football than Patrick Mahomes, and we know that Mahomes is injured, right?
Well, I don't even agree with that. My whole thing, I think both.
So hold on. What point are you trying to make?
My point is, I'm saying both of them are playing great ball.
But you're responding to people that are saying what?
They're trying to say that now Joe Burrow is better than Patrick. Is like the number one guy now.
What?
And I just think
because they won the last 3 games against
them head to head. You know how they feel about head to head. But just think about head to head. Karl, think about head to head. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady 2 times in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Tom Brady never beat Eli Manning. Nobody thinks that Eli or Tom could ever have beaten him, but it happened. Why? Because it's a team sport.
You mean some people? You saying people don't think that Eli could have ever beat Tom Brady in that situation?
Right. Nobody would have ever thought that he could do it, and he did it, and he played some of his best football in that Super Bowl. So. He just raised his level of
and that's why he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, you have some people that want to say, "Oh, should he really be a Hall of Famer because of the second half of his career?" Of course, he should be a Hall of Famer. He's got 2 rings, but maybe not. If you want to make an argument for, should he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? That's different. That's a different.
But my point is he better than Tom Brady? No, he's not.
Of course
Even though he beat him in 2 Super Bowls. So I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put no shade on Joe Burrow because that boy is going to be something special. He already is.
Oh, he's a problem.
He won a title in college, so we know that the guy is great. And he's young, he's talented. But hey, look, the Ravens revealed some things about him, and the Ravens beat him one time and should have beat him a second time.
Right.
And this is with defense. So what I'm saying is, it's defense and offense. And that's what wins games. Both of those together in the combination.
But this is also why, like I said, at some point, and it's not going to happen, but at some point, it's like, can we stop giving all credit to a quarterback and all blame to a quarterback? That's what we do. The same thing you see in the NBA with superstars. You give all credit to LeBron, or you give him all blame in a certain situation. The Lakers depend on how they're playing.
Now moving to another
topic.
topic.
Real quick, you saw that with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. What did Scottie say? He said, man, he was the standout player. He said every team has a standout player, but it was a team. It was a team. We were successful because of the team.
I agree with the team.
Not just about the one man.
I agree with the team, but sometimes a man
he was upset
can influence the team, okay, in a positive way.
Guys, I'm Karl Nelson II. This is Karl Nelson Sr. right here.
What's up?
Our show, Like Father, Like Son. It's been on the air since April of 2020. Healthy debates, some really interesting topics, sports topics mainly. But we can also get into, social justice topics and different, family, like father, like son topics, obviously. No pun intended. We just want you guys to hit that subscribe button and become part of our world and become part of our community. So we're looking forward to it.
Love to have you.
Batman, Robin, MJ, Scotty, I'll do that for now.
Y'all find out the truth when you tune in.